I'm Joey Batts. I am a school teacher by day. I've been a hip hop recording artist for the last 20 years of my life. And every December I do an event called Hip Hop for the Homeless, where we raise funds and we collect donations for homeless people in the appropriate cities that we tour in. What got me started with Hip Hop for the Homeless is just seeing that there were some students that may be dealing with homelessness, and some students that may be dealing with the lack thereof of a household and a home. And it helped me break the archetype of what a true homeless person was. So I realized that it might make sense to give back to some things, especially during the winter times when the homeless people have it the worst. And I decided to launch this tour. So in every city that we're in, we work with a different organization. So a different homeless shelter or a different charitable place for each city that we're in. So this year, we're doing 8 cities, and we're partnering with 8 different nonprofits. Yeah, I think they were more surprised than anything. You know, it's so crazy. It's such a thankless job and such a position for the people who are working in the social services, where I remember the first year I showed up to one of the places with like an envelope full of cash, like $500, and they were just like, "This is awesome. How much money are you taking?" And I was just like, "Nothing. Like, this is all yours," you know? So they don't see that a lot. And a lot of times that they don't get people that so willingly want to help. And it's both sad because that's kind of where society has taken us, but it also it's just nice to see how surprised they are. Over time, it was I guess the first year it was only 1 or 2 shows, and then once I realized that I had the ability to add more shows and add more cities because of the relationship that I had with venue owners, it just kind of snowballed out of control. And then after the first year, people started to take it more seriously, and people started to wait for it and for it to happen. And now at this point, I have anywhere from 40 to 60 artists that are willing to donate their time and their skills to assist us. I don't get a whole lot of sleep, balancing being a teacher and a hip hop artist. I don't get a whole lot of sleep. Now the older I get, I'm touring a little bit less, and I'm not spending so many nights, late nights. But it's cool, man, because I think it adds a layer and a wrinkle to me as a person and me as a man. And the students, I'm a high school teacher, so the high school students, it's nice to see that I'm a real dude. It's nice to see that like I'm a real man and not just like a carbon cut, boring teacher. You know what I mean? I used to try to hide it. I used to hide being a performer just because I was worried that it would be considered unprofessional, or they wouldn't take me seriously as a disciplinarian. But now, man, with phones, bro, and with the internet in your pocket, these kids will find you in a heartbeat. You got to protect your Facebook page. You got to protect your Twitter, your Instagram. So these kids, it's so like we'll be in the middle of like Macbeth. We'll be in the middle of like Paradise Lost or Lord of the Flies, and they'll be like, "Yo, mister, that was you rapping at Six Flags?" And I'm just like, "Man, can we get back to the book, please?" So it's always funny, man. It's always really funny. Oh, the response has been incredible. There's a certain stigma that comes with hip hop, that hip hop for the homeless completely breaks. No one is scared to look vulnerable. No one is scared to smile. No one is scared to hug. No one is scared to be thankful. The crowd shows up and they're very supportive. Everybody's there knowing that they're there for a bigger reason and for a bigger message. And the response has been incredible. Every year it gets bigger and bigger, and every year we raise more and more money.
Have there been any critics of what you're doing, or has the response really just been...
No critics and no critiques. Like, it's been really cool. Like, I mean, there's always individuals, there's always performers that are upset that they're not part of it, but that's because they weren't part of it in a holistic fashion, and now they just want to be part of it because of the notoriety that it's getting. And it kind of exposes them because they're not really here for the cause. A lot of the artists that I work with, they're genuinely here for the cause, which is nice.
Respecting the privacy of the kids, of course, but like, were there any stories that you saw that particularly moved you?
Not specifically, because as a teacher, you're a mandated reporter, and so there's like you learn to like not ask certain questions, because then I would have to call DCF on a kid, and I don't want to do that.
But
So you kind of learn your boundaries. I think that the teen homelessness rate in Hartford is very high because it's not the typical homelessness that you and I may think about on a daily basis. I think there's a lot of kids who are between apartments. I think there's a lot of kids whose parents are struggling to make rent. I think there's a lot of kids couch surfing and a lot of kids staying for a prolonged time at their cousins or their aunts, and they don't even think about themselves as being homeless. But when you lay it out like that, I think several of them are definitely affected by not having the most ideal quality of life and not an actual home like you and I may have had. The data shows that the percentages of homelessness have gone down, that the percentage of at-risk people with lack of homes has decreased. But I think it's just glaring, man. I think it's such a glaring issue. The thing about it is, a lot of times the homeless people that we see are the people who are dealing with being displaced, are the people that we see, in the corner. They have a little cardboard thing up, or they're begging for money. That's just like such a small percentage. Like there's invisible souls out there living in bandos, living in abandoned properties, not reporting that they're dealing with issues of homelessness, and that just go completely unreported and unregarded. So typically they're known as like the invisible population because they just slip through the system. So I don't think the problem is being addressed at all. If I could give advice to the people at home, I think that they got to try to really do their part. At the end of the day, when we're looking at our neighbors and when we're looking at the people around us, they're human beings. So at any given moment, no matter how down you are, like you have one more thing than the next person. You know what I mean? And like I'm talking to you, talking to myself. Like, go into your pantry. Everybody got some old carrots, peas, corned beef hash, chili, you know what I mean? Corn squash that they're not doing anything with. Everybody has that one free t-shirt that they never wear. You know what I mean? You have that old coat or that old raincoat. Like, put it in a bag, come to a venue, or find one of those big metal donation bins, and just throw it in there. Because you'd be surprised how quickly we are to sometimes throw stuff out. Sometimes you never think about it. You'll throw a pair of sneakers out before you'll donate them, and it's just like, yo, just donate. Because a lot of times people don't want money. They actually want things that'll keep them warm and things that they can put on their feet, and toiletries and food products. Originally, oh man, I always like poetry. I always like rhyming. I always like reading. I always like writing. And the first time I really heard music that spoke to me and lyrics that spoke to me was a hip hop album. Was like, Grave Diggers, Enter the 36 Chambers, Tribe Called Quest, and then like Biggie. So it was one of those things where it was just like I knew that I wanted to express myself that way, and I knew I wanted to jump into ciphers and freestyle ciphers, and it was just something that I ended up becoming pretty good at, I guess. I think hip hop for the homeless is as good as it is and is as popular as it is because of the tremendous support system that is around me. Like, yeah, sure, I'm the guy who started it and I'm the guy organizing a lot of the things, but I couldn't do it without the sponsors. I couldn't do it without the performers. I couldn't do it without the venues. Even here at Chango Rosa in Hartford, where the event will be on the 14th, like, for venue owners like Jamie to give us space like this, for us to house that music and for us to give out those good vibes, it doesn't exist without them. And our sponsors willingly give us money to get t-shirts printed that we can sell for the donation. So without that support system and without that community, it definitely wouldn't be what it is. So I'm super thankful for them and the performers, because none of them have ever asked for any money whatsoever.
Last question. Is there a Hip Hop for the Homeless 2019 in the works?
Oh man, dude, it's year 5. I can't believe we made it year 5. To be honest, I'm a real creative dude, so I'm always thinking about what the t-shirt will look like next year and what the color patterns will look like next year. I'll be doing Hip Hop for the Homeless until I pass the torch to someone else. I think that as long as the support is there, and as long as hip hop wants to give back, and as long as my friends and my family in Connecticut want to help out, I'll be doing it till 2029. You know what I mean? So definitely always in the works, always.